Hi, my name is Kelly Cook. I am from Shakopee, Minnesota, 55379 zip code. I am also known as Kelly Cat Lover on Facebook, and I'm also known as Doc33 on YouTube, which is at MN Crime Report, which has some of the longer videos. But today's purpose is because I'm in a situation where I have a cartel mafia repeatedly committing wet work plots against me, and they've completely corrupted the local and county police and law enforcement in my Scott County area. And unfortunately, in a situation like this, the only entity that cartels are afraid of are military. So I have actually done something that's never been done before, but I think other people should be able to find safety in doing it. But I have given 100% full access of my private device and data to Pete Hegseth from the Department of War, as well as Tulsi Gabbard, ODNI. Because of the situation that I'm in, I have had electronic warfare weaponized against me. I have been preyed upon by foreign adversarial assets that are in partnership with the local cartel mafias. And the local cartel mafias are being run by and shielded by the city administrator Bill Reynolds and the police chief Jeff Tate and everything. And so one of the things that has been really difficult for all of us working together here, because I'm a federal informant, but again, like some of this stuff has never been done before, what we're doing and what we've been working on for actually months. What I need people to understand first and foremost is people in the witness protection program got murdered, who were informants. And so because of that, myself, as well as President Donald Trump's administrative cabinet, have had to try to navigate how to deal with such deep state corruptions. That, trying to navigate who can you trust, who can't you trust. We have a lot of poisoned databases because when you have corrupt law enforcement, like the Shakopee police and the Shakopee sheriffs and stuff like that, they're hiding ghost assets in plain sight. They're actually a criminal sanctuary city, harboring the worst of the worst and shielding the worst of the worst, and then having them retaliate and terrorize federal informants and whistleblowers like myself. Brad Tabke, House Representative, he's involved in it. Keith Ellison's involved in it. Ron Hosevar, the county attorney, he's involved in it. City attorneys are involved in it. I mean, the amount of documents that we have to go through is massive amounts. And when you have a corrupt county unleashing Typhoon, Rootkit, advanced persistent threat software against people they're trying to silence, it has made it extremely difficult for me. So that's where me relinquishing and waiving my privacy rights and requesting a non-warrant access to my devices and my personal data by the capabilities of my United States military grade capabilities. And this is fully legal because I have a constitutional right to share crucial and critical national security threat intelligence information to my United States government, because what I have actually witnessed is obviously cartels, networks, but also infrastructure damages and acts of war against the infrastructure. And it's been really difficult to navigate. But anyways, some of the key things that I had to do yet in order to help make it fully legal for Pete and Tulsi and who they choose to expose further. They have 100% control of who they choose to share the evidence with. I'm in a situation where I can't do anything myself. I'm trapped in an SOS hostage situation. It's an active hostage situation. I can tell you this, that it's been really amazing getting to watch every little piece that President Donald Trump's administration has been working really hard at trying to put in place and create and navigate through all of this situation. And they've been working really hard to try to protect me, my identity, all of that stuff. And basically what we have is we have dirty cops and dirty lawyers. And to give you an idea how dirty these lawyers are, there's ex-military people that are meritless and just criminal. And it's really hard. It's really hard on all of us trying to navigate through this. And the main hurdle that they try to put out there for all of us is that they try to prey upon privacy rights. And so that's why you see all this stuff in Minnesota happening with corrupt people not wanting to release medical files and stuff like that and evidence with the SNAP benefits and all that stuff. Because I reported basically cartel members that are getting SNAP benefits and they have $100,000 vehicles and just massive add-on additions and just all this stuff. And so that's part of what's been going on over these many of these months. And I fully support every single decision that Donald Trump, and he likes to be called President Trump, but anyway, President Trump and Tulsi and the IC and Department of War and NSA and DIA and everybody that have been really, you guys have been fantastic. And, obviously you're going to get questions about this and that. And it comes down to it that, look, first and foremost, any congressional person that gets access to what they choose to share with you, you need to understand people in the witness protection program were getting murdered. So don't question the choices that President Trump and his cabinet have had to try to navigate all this, because they've been working really hard to get all the right pieces into place. Because the best defense is when you have an offense, but you also have to have all of your defense pieces in place when you're maneuvering like that. And to take down a mafia, it actually takes a long time and a lot of work. And my heroes and my guardians, as I call them, have actually had legal access to a lot of my stuff for a very long time. And I protect that for my own safety, but it's been a very, very long time. And that's a flexible number, okay? It's just, they've had legal access. When they chose to have that access is an undisclosed piece of information, okay? That's what I want to clarify here. But anyways, point is there's all these documents, okay? And this is going to be in reverse, but you're going to see some of the highlighter stuff on it and everything. And a lot of what I'm doing here is I have to be the one to publicly share some of these documents, because the mafia is preying upon the privacy rights. Usually an informant has the right for having their identity kept private. Well, it doesn't work so well when the police chief of your town and his corrupt criminal cops and stuff like that committing wet work plots and trying to create fake medical record documents against people. And here's how they're doing it. Is they use this advanced persistent threat software and RTT attacks, and they basically abuse military grade equipment that you're supposed to have a warrant for. So the people that were violating the laws are actually the police. And they abused technology, got access to people's basically their credentials, anything they wanted to know about them, and they've been controlling phone calls. They basically they intercept calls to the FCC, FinCEN, FBI, and they've been impersonating, and it's just it's insane how crazy and criminal that they've been being. And yes, Brad Tabke is definitely one of the largest parts of it. So he's got over 20 emails that show he's extremely dangerous person and not doing things in the best interest of this nation. So one of the things that I have to do is, and these are things that I figured out myself. I've put a lot of studying into trying to make sure that I can give those who need to be able to have the power to protect me and this nation every bit of capabilities to get over the hurdles of the privacy issues that people are trying to prey upon. Because most people think about privacy rights, they're like, oh, the government doesn't have the right to do this, the right to do that. Right, true. They don't, unless a gem like me comes along and says, because of the SOS hostage situation I am in as a federal informant under threat by Scott County local officials who are shielding ghost assets and cartel network shielding, I have a constitutional right to share what I want to share, however I want to share it, especially when it comes to national security information. So they do have full legal access to things that people are going to be questioning, like, well, how did they get that? Well, it's because I provided them the access. I'm allowed to do that, and I don't want congressional people debating that. Judges are not allowed to block me from that. My life and liberties have been robbed by a mafia and a cartel. So there's no such thing as trying to protect my liberties and privacy rights when it's those that have been abused in order to rob me of my liberties. Basically, the Shakopee police, they presented me with fake investigators. And the people that were doing the fake investigators, impersonating themselves as fake investigators, were people from the Health and Human Services Department in Minnesota. So they'd have this long phone call. And then I would find out after like 30 minutes into the phone call that, oh, they're not even an investigator at all. I'm like, who is this person? You know, some Jen Peterson girl. And I look her up, I'm like, oh, she's known for getting people locked up on like drug charges and overdose stuff. I'm like, that's not an investigator at all. So it was really tough on me to find out that when I finally requested my police reports, because unbeknownst to me, the police were creating data poisoning. They were doing database poisoning, creating these fake mental health records that didn't exist, don't exist, under false pretenses. So basically, I made informant reports May 19th, and then I made another one March 25th. You guys will be able to see all this stuff, a lot of this stuff publicly. But you're going to be able to see like maybe 10% of stuff publicly because, again, I am a victim, and I prefer that that Tulsi and Pete and the appropriate people that they choose to help deal with who they want to dish it out to and stuff like that to be handling this navigating forward with how to take down a mafia. It takes a lot of courage to be as transparent. It's an invasive process. I will say that it's invasive, but I'd rather live. And I happen to be somebody who I think fits I'm just perfect for this scenario in a lot of ways. And so it is what it is, and this is way too long of a video. It's way too long of a video. Anyways, yeah. I don't know if this is it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I don't want anybody with privileged access to what my national security intelligence communities choose to share with people for national security purposes. I don't want you putting hurdles in their way and trying to say, oh, privacy rights, this, that. No. You got to think about what happens in Mexico. What happened in Mexico is the only people that cartels fear are the military. So it makes 100% sense that, that I've created I've inspired modernization that I have been just so impressed with how, 47 is greater than 45. That's what I gotta say here is I did not vote. I made the mistake of not voting for President Trump in 2024. The people I voted for in 2024 have been the people that have harmed and endangered me and threatened my life and safety and robbed me of all my civil liberties. So for me, this has been an amazing journey to get to see that 47 is greater than 45, and I hope others get privileged to the long-term story when and how they all choose to deliver it. So people are going to be questioning, like, well, why did you withhold this information, or why did you withhold that information, and yada yada yada. When it comes to them, they have had to deal with the fact that they have a poisoned database by corrupted officials in the system. So they have had to be very careful and selective with their timing and their choosing. And I fully support every choice they've made. And I want to make sure that I try to give them as much capabilities as they can moving forward for these next stages. So basically, I requested a non-warrant access to my to being able to get through this with them. That was my request because when you have corrupted county attorneys that are corrupting judges, and you have just these whole criminal networks, if you try to pull a warrant, it ends up harming the victim more than benefiting the victim. And so I've exercised my constitutional rights. I'm allowed to do it. Apparently, no one else is willing to do. But yeah, it's something I am proud to do, and it has been a really good feeling to be able to see that we truly do have a president and a presidential cabinet who represent all of the United States voters, regardless of if they voted for them. And it's been one of the best things I've gotten to witness is how they've, how they've been navigating this. I will probably be releasing more videos over time as we go here. Hopefully I can make a shorter version of this. Anyways, these are some of the documents. I just want to show you guys. These are some of the documents, and you're gonna see them in. This is just a fraction. That's just a couple of fractions. It's just a small fraction, but it's part of the evidence file that I have in my Facebook, Kelly Cat Lover, but then also Doc33 on YouTube. And not a lot of people are seeing that stuff from the public. It's put there so that my federal partners in this situation can utilize and have the support that they need moving forward. So basically it's like me handing over keys, so to speak, if you want to look at it that way. It's like me helping them have everything that they need for their legal aspects, because that's the number one thing the Mafia was relying on, is that they were relying on that police chief would say, oh, yeah, I'm not allowed to give you the emails for privacy clauses and privacy reasons for, and then like same thing with the medical people. But those they stole my medical information by eavesdropping on my phone calls. We're talking about the local corrupted police. Stole that information and then they created fake documents off of it. So now you guys want to know, how did the Somalians get so many people's credentials? It's because of dirty cops doing kickbacks. Scale in Scott County is it is a criminal money laundering organization. It's you guys will get to discover more about that. I'm not gonna disclose all of the. I'm deeply devoted to protecting element of surprise and a lot of these aspects. That's why Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard are the ones who are making the choices on my behalf, and they've been waiting for me a little bit on me being able to post what Jeff Tate was not cooperating with them to give them in the first place. So that he, you have these criminals not providing the real database and then poisoning the database, tampering with it. Perry Mulcrone is an ex-military IT guy that literally helped contaminate databases and fingerprint records so that FBI wanted people could be hiding in plain sight under fake credentials and fake fingerprints so that they wouldn't get identified. And then you actually have people like Brad Tabke who have been trying to tamper with license plate readers access and all that stuff because, again, they're trying to protect and shield criminal networks because they know that what they've all done to me over this past year is it is prison sentences, massive prison sentences. I've had numerous I've had numerous murder attempts against my life. I've exposed part of the extended network of the drug trafficking networks, but what I've exposed is a mafia, and the mafia is much more dangerous than a cartel organization because the mafia works with everybody, every kind of warlord, foreign adversaries, and obviously cartels. But I mean, they're involved in every kind of crime, and it's been a really scary journey. But yeah, Mark McNeil, Brad Tabke, Bill Reynolds, Jeff Tate. John Kvasnica, who is also known as Robert William Fisher. He's one of these FBI wanted guys who's hiding in plain sight with fake fingerprint and new credentials and stuff like that. And I'm the one that's been exposing, how did they do this and what, so yeah. So basically, Shakopee, Minnesota is attracting criminals to it. That's why it's become what it's become here. And yeah, it's time to get rid of the sanctuary cities. It's time to stop allowing sanctuary cities to get kickbacks for protecting criminals. It's got to end. And the only people that can protect me is the United States military, because we're dealing with a cartel. More than cartel, but we're dealing with extremely dangerous people. So anyways, you guys have been wanting to, you've been waiting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. There's certain things that we want to make sure that we don't have any hurdles in our way as we progress forward, because we know the way that this mafia is working. We know what they're doing. And obviously everybody has seen over the last several months that Minnesota is not cooperating at all with providing the information that they need to be providing. Everybody saw that, the hearings and stuff like that, it just had huge redactions, just black, pages filled with black, because they didn't want to give the information out. Well, now you guys know why. It's because you have criminal cops partnered up with criminal health providers, health service managers and stuff like that for kickback scams and schemes. And it's there's an October 1st event that happened as a joint special session in Scott County with the county commissioners. And one of the things that they did with that was to weaponize espionage and no-knock, wet work plot activities against me. Like, it's a lot. It's the amount of money that they have put into trying to silence me and weaponizing against me has been crazy. It's absolutely been insane. They're using vehicles as weapons. Mayor Matt Lehman, he's involved in the criminal activities. He's a dead tooth mayor for first and foremost. He's got a dead tooth, and his wife is missing all kinds of teeth. I think you guys could just, I don't know, get a hair sample or something. You can find out real fast. Oh, okay, they're part of that meth addict problem. Whatever you want to find out. But we gotta trust and be united with the president that we have. This nation cannot survive with a divided nation, and I am proud to be the blue vote from 2024 that is clearly never going to vote blue again. Not after what happened to me. Not after the people I voted for. I voted for Amy Klobuchar. I voted for Tim Walz. I voted for Brad Tabke. I voted for these people. And the evidence shows that these people are involved in the most deadly and dangerous criminal activities you could possibly imagine. The evidence speaks for itself. And I'm in a situation where I'm trapped in a hostage SOS situation. Acts of war have been being committed against not just myself, but the infrastructure here, as well as the communications grid. I mean, the United States Post Office, I can't get mail out to where I need it to go. I couldn't even get phone calls to go through to the proper places when I was at the post office requesting them to make phone calls from their federally protected phone line. That's how bad it is. It is so bad that the phone lines the communication grid can't be trusted for banks to even be able to inform the FinCEN of the money stuff that directives that they're supposed to be reporting as well. So it's why Minnesota? Why Shakopee? I'll let Pete and Tulsi explain that one to you guys, okay? Because I've explained it to them, and they have access to stuff that is not public because I've provided them that, and that's something people need to understand. So there's only one way to protect yourself when you have criminal, murderous cartel entities targeting you as a federal informant that you are, and other witness protection program were murdered. So I expect congressional people, whether they are blue or red, to put politics aside and understand I deserve to have my rights and liberties restored. I deserve to have them given back to me after the Mafia has just destroyed my life. And again, that's up. Tulsi and Pete can go into the details of what's gone on, and it might be Marco that chooses, to do that stuff. It might. There's a chain of command in this situation that has had to be very controlled, and Donald Trump has been brilliant with how he's been trying to figure. He's having to, be very particular about what he chooses to expose and not expose as well, because again, we're dealing with having to they'll explain it. They can explain it a lot better than I can. But they know they've gotten to hear me talk about a lot of this stuff, and I've fully educated myself on what I stepped up to the plate here to do. Just because it's not common doesn't mean that it's not legal. I'm the example of what we are capable of when we cooperate with each other. So I'm proud to do that, and I'm extremely proud of what I call my wolf pack and Boss T. So, 30 minutes. I don't know. Hopefully this goes well. I'm trying to think of every hurdle that the Mafia is going to be trying to give them, and yeah. Happy Easter, guys.